Okay, exploration of pure forms in its abstract sculptures created new paradigm with which sculptures could be engaged. Okay, so we want to see how he's one of the, whether you want to call him one of the first abstract sculptors. I'm sure, yeah, one of the first. Is he really the first? I can't say for sure. Alright, okay, then we also look at other two artists. Teachers may use sculptures by Donald Judd and Han Sai-po for comparison. Alright, and Han Sai-po is our local sculptor, very old lady. Yeah, quite respectable. She lived as long as she can. Alright, yeah, okay, so we try to look at these sculptors. So now, Brancusi, okay, that's him, alright, and you can see that, well, he's born in Romania, okay, and died in Paris, France, okay, and you can see, I mean, this is a Wikipedia document, so actually when you all look at the notes, okay, why these at the start is to give you a brief overview, alright, and so you can see some of these things, alright, education is École des Beaux-Arts, that is one of the top art school in France, alright, and notable works, Sleeping News, Keys, computers, quite a few of these, but then Marcel, Pogani, a few others. Okay, but in space, endless columns. In fact, there's quite a few. Now, so maybe we scan through his works and you look at his works and then see how what are some of the things that you can generalize of his sculptures. I'm sure you already see quite a number of them are repeated. Alright, and so obviously when they are repeated so many times, these must be the important words that you should know. Alright? Okay, not a very big document. Alright, so what do you think, what comes to your mind if let's say for you to generalize his works? Okay, what kind of work does he make? He makes sculptures, of course. He makes sculptures, yes. Abstract sculptures, yes. But what are some of the things that caught your attention? Okay, that we just browse through.
Interesting ways of portraying people.
What do you mean by interesting ways?
Interesting ways means that very geometrical shapes. For example,
Geometric shapes is interesting. That is how you define interesting. Well, if you write that for sofa, I'll be there. Huh? What do you mean? Okay. But okay. What do you? What else? Geometry. So you see geometry. What else? Come on. Sarah.
Minimalistic.
Oh wait, Sean, yes.
Minimalistic. It's minimalistic.
Minimalistic.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's just another word for your abstraction, right?
No, it's different.
Oh, it's different. Okay, tell me the difference between minimalistic and minimalism is closer to realism than abstract.
Extraction.
So abstraction, minimalism, realism.
Yes.
Oh, look at me, I didn't say that.
It's reducing the details of
Yeah.
Reducing the details.
of a
Because,
subject.
like, if you look at it, you can still tell it's a human face. But the features are either not removed. They are either exaggerated or simplified to the point that it's like you can recognize it as a human face, but it doesn't look anything like a human face.
It doesn't look anything like a cartoon, a manga.
Yeah,
It's
kind of.
quite simplified of the features. It's not exactly the same shape, but similar, but idealized. So simplified, as you can say. All right, okay. So if you say minimalist is actually somewhere between abstract and realism. Alright, okay, because I do want to hold on to this because actually, okay, never mind. The next artist will be looking at Donald Judd, is somewhat in the movement of minimalism. So it's slightly different. Okay, maybe your interpretation of minimalism is different. Okay, but of course, you're not aware. Okay, you have not learned. Okay, so but never mind. Nonetheless, okay. So abstraction. Okay, I think I guess we kind of a bit rusty. Okay, even though you all just did the SOBA exam last week. Okay, you all should have already read through your abstract artists, the painters, and so on and so forth. Okay, what is the definition of abstraction anyway? What is abstract art? What is the word abstract mean? Hmm? Yeah. Doesn't it sound like a question? What does abstraction mean? What does the word abstract? Dream reality. I mean, if it's dream, then it's dream lah. I mean, why is it even abstract? If abstract is equal to dream?
Sorry, that was surrealism. I messed
Yeah.
up.
Disconnection from reality. Different degree of reality and abstraction. Okay. That's what you all learn, eh? Okay. Do you agree, Zara? So yes. Why? Okay. Simpler forms. So as long as we simplify, it's abstraction. So if you draw a Venn diagram, it's simplified. Abstraction, so it's like that, or like that, or like that. Suddenly Venn diagram come in like that. Sorry, I'm not a math person. Okay, but actually it's something that you all need to should be clear about. It actually helps you clarify. Alright, okay. I would say simplify is a subset of abstraction. Alright, okay. Abstraction is a lot bigger. It's a bigger idea. Okay, because they are quite similar. Alright, but abstraction doesn't just mean simplifying things. Okay, abstract, yes, we remove. Okay, the whole idea, the word, you can Google the word abstract. Okay, read the dictionary. What does the word abstract mean? Okay, is to remove the unnecessary, the redundant, the decorative, or and water it down, distill it. In fact, it's distill it to the essence in its pure form. Alright, okay, that means realism, okay, realistic, everything around us, we can see, just now you say, oh, a human face, alright, we have a lot of details, okay, our face are not just a round shape, alright, there's eyes, the eyes got, we have different colors, we have like the hair, different amount of hair, different color, again, different style, hairstyle, everything. But if we abstract it down, then okay, we remove what is the bare necessity for us to understand that this is a head. There you are. Draw almost like a egg shape. Okay, throw two things that looks like eyes, and then have something that looks like nose. Don't even have a mouth there. Okay, don't even have ears there, and then yet, oh, you look at that, and then you can see, oh, that's a person. Okay, so that tells us that I can abstract away, remove all these extra details, and yet you can still understand what it is. All right. So if you next time I'm sure when you all do your some of your theoretical research, you all Google, okay, some of the academic papers. At the start, they have an abstract. Right? Have you all read some of these articles that at the start there's an abstract, and the abstract simply is a kind of a summary or overview of what the whole article is about. Alright? So can you see, so abstract is actually a distillation of the key ideas, the essential ideas of the actual thing. So so just now when you all say that abstract is as opposed to reality, becomes a bit of a weird situation, okay? Because then that depends on how you want to define abstraction. And if we go back in time, okay, initially abstraction, in fact, at the time of Brancusi, at the time of Picasso will say, all right, that I'm not making abstract art. Everybody is saying his Cubist style is abstract art. Cannot see the person, everything, he said, no, I'm not making abstract art. Everything that he paint is from reality. He look at the person, look at a guitar player, look at a table, a still life, and paint a still life, but it just look like that. So to him, he has never painted anything abstract in that way. To him, it is real. Alright, it's just a different way of representation. Alright, he distill it down to, oh, the table, I just need this shape, and I want to show that it's three-dimensional, so I build multiple perspective, and ta-da, that is what a table should look like, should be, and not how the linear perspective, single viewpoint is actually a subset of the multiple viewpoint. Can you see? So how different people interpret, define the word abstract changes over time as well. Okay, so you're not wrong to say that, oh, there's this seems like this different degree of abstraction and reality. I mean, we still say that, okay, but exactly what is this definition? I think it evolved over time. All right, so you need to be slightly clearer. All right. So now, so coming back, okay, so abstract is not exactly that is not real at all. Okay, in fact, to him, if just now you notice the date, just now I didn't really mention when is he born, even though we look at it. Okay, he's actually born in 1876. That's quite early. Alright, nobody is doing abstract art at that time. 1870s is when, in fact, Monet just painted Impression Sunrise. Alright, Impressionism was just starting. The France are still looking at realism. Gustave Courbet, alright, all those kind of very realistic art, social realism, okay, barrier opponents and things like that, okay, and okay, so you can imagine if you are born, okay, 1876, okay, add 20 years to that, 1896, somewhere there, that's around your age, slightly older than you, Okay, so that would be around the time that okay, you are looking at what is the new world supposed to be? You're looking into your future, like you all can own, can take over and challenge the world, right? I'm sure you should be at this stage, all right? So you should be at the avant-garde, the freshest ideas and so on and so forth. So try to imagine. So at that time, in about 1890s, what is actually the kind of artwork, the kind of sculpture that is prevalent? And let me show you. In fact, this is the sculptor that is most famous at the time that he was a young man coming up. So he actually walked, sort of, from Romania to Paris. Okay, it's not that rich. So he slowly moved there, okay, take in the whole land and so on and so forth, to learn, to see, to get into the action, the center of the arts of the world, Paris. Alright, okay, your realism, your neoclassicism, all those isms kind of have been there for centuries. Alright, so when he goes there, and this sculptor is, it's not in your syllabus, don't worry. Okay, Augustus Rodin. Okay, have you heard of this name, Rodin? Okay, maybe you have not heard of his name, you have seen his sculptures. Okay, and this is called Age of Bronze. So you look at this sculpture, very realistic, right? Almost like, wow, very proportionate, alright, almost very classical. In fact, it looks like some Roman and Greek sculptures. Alright, but somehow now there's a slight difference. Okay, so these would be, I do think that it's more like impressionist style, but okay, I won't go too deep into it. Alright, okay, this is his most famous masterpiece in that sense. Okay, this is called the Gates of Hell. Okay, this is called the Kiss. Okay, this one is the Secret. And of course this, I'm sure you have seen this. You go to Sentosa, you should see one. You go to somewhere at Raffles Place, Shenton Place, one of the bank, you also see one of these. Alright, this is called the Tinker. Alright, I'm sure you all seen a lot of memes about this sculpture, right? Okay, like sitting on the toilet bowl and all that, right? Everyone thinking, so many cartoons will draw this pose, like this is the iconic thinking pose. And yeah, we can credit Rodin for creating this. Alright, they all make reference to this. And this thinker, if let's say just now I mentioned, okay, can you see that the thinker is actually sitting here? Okay, so in fact, this Gates of Hell actually covers quite a few of his works. Were used in there. Okay, not. Okay, so you can see so many thinkers. Okay, just not that one. There are different versions of it, and he's the first person. Okay, to really make this sculpture. And this is considered very revolutionary in 1880s. Alright, super revolutionary. Why? Because before that, all sculptures, the human is always whole. Okay, so he started the whole idea of parts as whole. Alright, before this, okay, yes, you may have seen those like Greek sculptures, Roman sculptures, broken hand, broken leg, right, in the museum, and then wow, these are so beautiful. But obviously, we all know that all these sculptures were whole figure. They are never sculpted in parts. Okay, so he created this and it really to really make the point that okay, you don't need the whole sculpture. In fact, this sculpture is called Walking Man. Now, if you look at this, can you see Walking Man here? Will you think otherwise? So, do you need the head? Do you need the hands? You don't need, you see. So all he did was, he has a torso and 2 legs. Put them together, there you are, walking man. You won't see that it's a walking lady. Alright, because the torso will tell you that it's a man's body. Alright. Despite the fact that there's no male genitalia there. Alright, but the body, the muscles and all that is quite clear, it's a man. Alright, okay, the legs, okay, the muscles are there to kind of suggest that it's a man. Alright, so it also came from the way he made things, okay, because he's a very skilled sculptor. He made a lot of sculptures, but the thing here is after you carve, right, sometimes certain parts are not so nice. So, but the hands is nice, so okay, you break off the hands, keep the hand, and then throw away the others. Then, oh, the other sculptures, the other work, oh, okay, the body is nice, or the legs is nice, the head is nice. So he actually have a storeroom of body parts. Sounds very weird, right? So he can, then after that he can just like, okay, take this head, take this body, put them together, and then, okay, maybe I can have a sculpture, something like that. But after a while, hey, that's actually quite nice. And so this is that way. You can see that it's a torso and 2 legs because if you really look at the 2 legs, they don't really fit the body properly. Right? You can see the seams, the joint there. Okay, it's actually quite an awkward joint. So it's almost like you just take the 3 parts, put together, and then just join it together. Alright? And then half it in bronze. Alright? So already in Rodin, we start to see the whole idea of abstraction. And this is 1880s. Okay, yes, it may be very realistic, but now we are taking out. It's really the start. Okay, you see, I remove the head, you can still see it's a walking man. I remove the hands, you still see it's a walking man. So you see, it's about abstracting, removing the redundant and keeping the bare minimum, the essence, to tell you what it is. Alright? And this is done before the painters started doing your abstraction. Okay? Alright? So this is Rodin, and he's so famous. Now, so actually, very interestingly, when Brancusi went to Paris, and because of his talent, alright, he already started to go towards a bit of abstraction, alright, and Rodin recognized it, and in fact invited him to join his workshop, okay, because as a sculptor, you can't exactly you need, just like painters, in the Renaissance painters, you have the masters, they have a lot of practice, alright, and workers that work for him. So they will have carved and make some models, and then the assistants will help to finish up the work. Or do most of the work, and then the master come in and touch up here and there, and then ta-da, that's the master's work. Alright? Okay? So in fact, Rodin invited Brancusi to join his workshop to kind of study under him, or work under him, and then eventually he can be a master himself. But Brancusi rejected him and said, under a big tree, another tree cannot grow. So how ambitious he is, right? He's so confident. Alright? Okay? So if you look closely, you can see just now this sculpture. Alright? In fact, if you look at this work, this is also called the Kiss, 1907. Now, just now when I was showing you Rodin, Okay, he has also a very famous sculpture called the Kiss, and it shows two nudes, okay, a couple nude, okay, kissing each other in embrace, and it's so beautiful that you can find that sculpture in a lot of places as well. Alright, because he made many copies. Okay, for Rodin it's controversial because another controversy is that after his death, okay, in fact before his death, he made a deal with the government, the French government, say, okay, because he's very famous, right? So I gave you all my works, you make a museum out of it, so you can go to the Rodin Museum, alright, and you can make as many copies as you need of my work, and they are sold as original to maintain the museum. And so that's why you have so many hundreds of copies of his authentic Rodin sold around the world. Alright, so you do see them in Singapore. Alright? And that's because really because of the bronze casting technique. Alright? Okay, the bronze casting technique, because again the sculpture, because bronze casting, the sculptor will have to make things out of clay. Remember you all saw Dwayne Hanson, Ron Moat video, right? Okay, you have to make a mold out of clay, then after that make several molds, then after that then you cast out. Okay, but for Ron Moat he cast it out of fiberglass and resin. Alright, but in the past it's actually to cast it in bronze. Okay, so all these steps of casting and all that, you need a lot of assistants to help you work, and in some cases, especially bronze, okay, the artists don't even do a lot of hard work because they will have used the clay, but after that they pass it to the foundry workers who have to melt the metal, and then big machineries to then pour all the molten bronze into this huge mold that you create. Alright, so it requires all these different people to make it. So actually when you see the bronze sculpture, that the main thing isn't really made by the artist, it's actually the foundry workers who have to make the mold and then make the and cast it out. Okay? So but the steps is quite a lot. So anyway, you look at it, okay, and you can see here, because Rodin had this very famous piece called the Kiss. From Uzi also have one. Alright, and in fact he has many versions of this piece. Okay, just now we saw this. This is also the Kiss. Okay, you can see different versions of it, and you can see how beautiful it is. That okay, yes, that's just the words. The picture. In fact, this one is one of the more iconic one in 1912. Now, in fact, if you look at this, it's almost like just carved out of a rectangular cuboid, right? Okay, you just make a few incisions, one line that splits in half, all right? And okay, if I show you this sculpture, are you able to tell me which one is male, which one is female? How? The hair. I mean, both long hair.
Direction gets down to the curve.
Direction is different. Alright? You can see the direction is different. This one, the hair goes sideways. And in fact, it continues down the back. Okay, this one I can't see the back, so I'm not so sure. But you can see it stops here. It's more vertical and it stops here. So it may look somewhat the same, but it's different. Alright? Okay? And you also notice that the eye is very interestingly done. It's like one eye divided into two, right? So So two half eye, but each one belonging to each person, because anyway you look at the side, it's a profile eyes. So two profile eye make one big eye. Alright, okay, seeing eye to eye. Okay, you can see the kids, this is where the contact point is. You can see the arm, okay, how it wraps around the body. Alright, and you can see the torso again. And I'm sure you notice that the torso is slightly different. For the female, there are bumps, okay, to suggest the female body. Alright, so you can see that with just a very simplified cut, okay, just now the earlier one you see the whole body with legs, curled up, okay, it's still carved out, but there's also other versions that is more figurative. Okay, so for Brancusi, he also start with more figurative, but it's simplified and simplified and simplified, abstract and abstract and abstract. Just the way like Kandinsky in his painting from realistic painting, slowly simplify the colors, simplify the form, there's some slight distortion and things like that, and eventually arrive at a full geometric abstraction. So same goes, so he belongs to the same era, so the kind of mindset is similar. Okay, think again, Pierre Mondrian, also the same, from realistic paintings, okay, landscapes, to slowly become more Fauvist, more expressionist, more abstract, and then slowly become very geometrical, vertical and horizontal lines, and three colors. Alright? So you can see that this is how the abstraction has evolved from realism. Alright? It slowly reduces, just like yours say, okay, realism in on one side, abstract on the other side, the different degree, a slider that we just like, slide all the way to the abstraction. Okay? Then you have this pure abstraction perhaps that you want to think about. Okay? So now, so you can see here, okay, Brancusi, this is called the muse. Alright, if you look at this, what do you think this depicts? Yes. Is it that difficult to answer? Huh? Okay, it's a bust. Okay, it's of a female bust as in B-U-S-T. Not B-U-S. Okay, sorry. It's a bust. It's a female bust. Okay, and what makes you say it's female?
Is that hair?
Is that a hair?
Like hair at the back.
Okay, it could be. It could be. You can see as hair because the thing about abstraction is because it's simplified, sometimes becomes a bit stylistic, ambiguous. That you may see this as hair, you may see it as a hand. Right? Okay, I mean, unless you walk around and then see maybe if he carve like lines on it or certain textures, then that may make you think that it is a head. Or if you see very clearly at the top part, they are like almost like 5-digit kind of thing, then maybe it's a head. Alright? But from one view you can't see. So that's the thing about sculpture. Actually you need to actually walk around. A photo don't do a sculpture justice. You need a few photos from different angles to see it properly. Alright? So you can see that this is the head. Alright, this one somehow or another mark out the eye, the nose bridge, the eye socket. Without the eyes somehow or another is just like two slight bump. Didn't even draw the eyelid. Alright, okay, the mouth seems like just a crack. Don't even know whether this crack is like purposefully carved inside or is like originally there that it carved and then left behind. Because it seems that there's quite a bit of the rock was like naturally broken in that way. Alright? Okay, like this crack here on the forehead looks like it was already pre-existing there rather than it's something carved. Okay? So yeah, so you can see that this head is already so simplified. It looks almost the same shape without, and you can see that it slowly go. Okay, this is another head. This one you can see the eyes more clearly. In fact, this one has hair, got mouth, got nose. Alright, this is a very weird sculpture. This is called Princess X. Okay, you can read the story behind it. It's quite funny. Alright, but sorry, does it remind you of anything?
No.
Why you say so like straight away no?
Not at all.
Not at all?
No.
This okay. I mean, the organic form is a muse. You can actually see that it's again. Alright, this is called Princess X. So Princess X, by the title, it suggests that it is a lady. It's a bust of a lady, Princess X. I don't know whether this X is unknown or is something referring to a particular person. In fact, it began as a traditional portrait bust of Rene Franchon, a friend who posed for the Sleeping Muse. Alright, okay, and also for the Pincel Bogani. Alright, yeah, so it's a mysterious Princess X. But, okay, so you can see that, so therefore with that you will think that, oh, this is the head. This is somewhat the neck, the super long neck, or the neck, shoulder, and then the hand somewhat in this way, you know. I don't know, can you all see it that way? Having difficulty with that? Yes? This is the head. This is kind of the neck. Okay, neck, and then like the shoulder, and then elbow, the hand. Quite a nice feminine pose, right? Right? Huh? Huh? Or like, huh? Looking down, like, no, it could be like,
Is that, oh, I dropped my keys.
yeah, it could be like slowly thinking. So yeah, all right. Looking down. I mean, you try imagining that it's simplified from a real pose, right? Correct? I mean, because it's based on the person, a portrait. All right. So you have to try to imagine the pose. But of course, some of you would, if you're more slanted in your thinking, all right, which is wondering why Yongzhe was so affirmative, like no, he didn't see anything. Maybe do you see something? Yes.
No, sir.
Really? Do you all see anything else beyond just this bus, a female bus?
You know, I don't even see the bus.
You didn't even see the bus. Then what do you see?
No, I can only. Those are legs.
Legs.
Correct. It's a long neck and.
Long neck and then leg.
Yeah. No, not neck.
Or jump out. No hands.
No, I think she means the other way around. So it's kind of like leaning.
Yeah.
Yeah, like legs like this leaning forward.
It's like the body is the
Yeah,
neck.
yeah,
How? Then two legs in front like that. That's
Yeah.
That's what you all see?
Yeah.
Okay. Can you all see that you have to get to those poses in order to help visualize? I mean, it's a bus, so it will stop. Bus is actually up to somewhere at your chest. Alright? Okay. Now, this was banned, this sculpture was banned actually, because People think that he was purposely trying to make a palace.
Why are you pausing?
I wonder.
No, I'm trying to see your reaction because I don't know whether you all catch the word or not.
Okay, I think I understand.
I wonder why they would think that looks nothing like
Okay, sure.
Yeah, I wonder why they think.
Okay. Yeah, I'm sure yours don't look like that. Okay, but anyway, so this was banned because it looks a bit phallic, okay, rather phallic, and so the thing here is, but it's not uncommon for artists to actually, to make works that is somewhat suggestive, all right, okay, and it's seen as a bit of a humor sometimes, all right, and because it plays with pun, and if you all recall, okay, we haven't studied the artist. No, we did. Magritte, all right, okay, you all studied Magritte, all right, okay, you haven't studied Duchamp, right? Okay, Magritte and a number of artists actually at that time were also thinking of a lot of puns and all that as well. Okay, so they like to play with words, the ideas, put them together, especially when this work is, 1912, not that far, 1950, sorry. Yeah, it's actually World War I. Try imagining that this work was actually made in World War I, during World War I. Okay? Yeah, so anyway, that's Princess X. Okay, and if you look at this, there are many other works. Okay, this is one of them. I'm sure you all seen this sculpture a few times, the news a few times. Okay, this sculpture is quite, well, you can say it's a predecessor of this. Okay, this is called Maestra. Okay, and what is it? It's actually firebird. It's like a phoenix in the Romanian folklore. Alright? Okay? And you can see here that it's actually bronze stone. So that because there's bronze, there's stone. So to Brancusi, actually one of the things here is that his sculptures, right? The base, you can see that many of his base, the sculpture is one thing, okay, but the base itself comes in all sorts of shapes and forms. Alright? And in fact, there may be more carvings on it. Okay, some are very organic. In fact, it contrasts with the abstraction. Okay, different material. Okay, and this is called a newborn. Why is this a newborn? Okay, this is okay. You can see the face, the head. So you can see that in his sculptures, he has always been simplifying the form from a very organic, human face to something that is very geometric. Okay, same goes to this, and this you've seen this many times, and now this one, just now that one is that sculpture was bronze, but this is actually in marble. This is 1923, and this piece is called Bird in Space. Now, which part of it feels like bird in space? Okay, and this is called fish.
It just feels like ocean.
Why would this be called a fish? I mean,
Fish scale.
somebody come and ask you, some lay person, your grandma, and ask you, hey Sean, why this one called fish? How are you going to explain?
It looks like a fish scale.
It looks like a fish scale. Alright, the shape of this looks like a fish scale. That's it. That's why it's called fish.
And then like
So you pluck the whole fish, you pluck one scale out, nah, fish.
no, and then like the color look like the ocean.
The colors look like the ocean. Alright, it looks like got streaks of like almost like flowing water. Alright, okay. Anything else? Again? It like capture the movement. What do you mean by it like capture the movement? Which part? The streaks. The shape itself also feels like it captures the movement. Why does this shape feels like it captures the movement? Again? Streamlined body. Okay. Just like a fish is a streamlined body. Alright, very tapered. Alright, long, elongated. Alright.
Is there more angles to this picture, or is it like flat or thick?
Do you think it's flat or thick?
Because you know where the highlight hits, it kind of gives like it's kind of like bumpy there.
So try to imagine that it's somewhat like that, like a real fish. Alright, okay. I mean, if you look at this, look at the shadows. Okay, this is a long piece. You can look at the shadows, it doesn't cover the whole thing. Right? So obviously it's not like a big balloon, not like a cucumber or anything. Alright, okay. Because based on the shadows, it's just cast down, straight line, almost straight line, and if based on this, you can see that if the center, this base here is a small cylinder, it looks like the top is nowhere thicker than that cylinder. Maybe slightly thicker. At most, it's only slightly thicker. And so, but horizontally, longitudinally, you can see that it's much longer, wider. Okay, so it looks like one big mass on a tiny spot. In fact, that is one way that you can create interest, contrast. Okay, big on a small. It adds tension because it's like imbalance. Anytime it may just fall over. So it actually put you on. You will feel as if like, oh dear, you don't want to get close. Okay, so this tension actually adds visual interest. Okay, so and you are right to say, okay, so this is called the fish, okay, because it simplifies the shape of the fish to that shape. Okay, you can say it's a fish scale, similar to a fish scale, it's streamlined. Okay, remove the fins, remove the eyes, remove the mouth, remove the tail. You have one block, and it's like, because it's kind of stretched, so it feels like there's this movement. It gives you that movement. Okay, so yes, so in terms of this work, it's not that he's trying to make a sculpture of a fish. He's trying to capture the essence of the fish swimming in the water. It's the movement that he's trying to capture. It's the life that he's trying to capture, in a sense. Alright? Okay, I think I'll stop here because I know I've exceeded already. I came late and yeah. So I'll stop here, I'll continue tomorrow. Actually, I want to do this tomorrow. Never mind, okay, we'll continue tomorrow then. Okay? Yeah, somebody is taking throughout.
So clean with the recording potential.
No worry, no.
Open his eyes a few times only. Okay, but do look at Rompuzi. Alright, many of his sculptures. Okay, this is a slightly different angle, so you can see that. Alright, the thinness of it, the very streamlined, and you can read the write-up of it. It's less of an image of a fish than an embodiment of the idea of one. Okay, so the idea of one. So what can you think about fish? The fish swimming in the water very fast. And so this sculpture kind of captures it. And you actually see a different version of the fish in a different material. Let me find it. Okay. Let me find it. Oh, I want to show it. Yeah. fish. Okay, but this is done in a different medium. This is bronze, brass, should be brass or bronze. Bronze, okay? But you can see that now this is a very small one. It definitely looks like just very flat, and then on another metal plate that serves as almost a reflective base, and then even the whole pedestal is sculpted out of wood. Alright? So quite clearly it is not like he just placed it on a cuboid kind of pedestal. Alright? Yeah, so it's a different kind of situation. Alright? Okay, I think I can stop here. Any questions?
For example, the little bit comes up with Sola, right? One of his works. Do we use the artist that you talked about just now?
You can, the questions doesn't necessarily mean,
Rodin.
no, Rodin.
Rodin. I don't know Rodin. Yeah.
R-O-D-I-N, yes. It's pronounced as Rodin, not Rodin. Okay, if you want, unless you want to go and study Rodin, or else there's no need, it's not in your syllabus. But understand that, yeah, there's this kind of connection between them. Yeah, because Rodin is like the ultimate sculptor, okay, at that time, at the turn of the century, end of 19th century. Yeah. End of 19th century. Yeah. Okay. Any other questions? Okay. Wait until I see the SYS, then I think you all want to go and see the SYS. Yeah, SY Art Exhibition. It will open next Wednesday. Yeah, 2 of our works will be on display. I'm setting one up this Saturday. Yeah.
Whose works are they?
Hmm?
Whose works?
Last year's coursework. So you all saw this girl coming back here, the fan. That work will be on display, and there's another video work will also be on display. Yeah. So you'll be at the National Museum. It will be free entry anyway. You'll go in there, but if we want to go as a class, as a school, then I actually need to make booking. I don't know whether I can get a place or not. Yeah. So if you're interested to go, then I actually need to make a booking. I'm not so sure of timetable because this term the timetable just flipped, right? Just changed a bit. I don't know how. Your timing will not change, right?
Not for art.
Not for art, right? Oh, but for other subjects, it's changed, right?
Only a bit.
Only a bit.
Like, shift what 2040, then
Yeah,
The
like
year 2s have shift a bit as well. So I'm not so sure whether next year there will be even more changes. Okay, never mind. We shall talk about that next year. Okay, but if let's say, because I don't want to waste the art lesson time, like our Tuesday slot to go museum. So do you all want to go together? Or you all want to go like on your own time? Huh? I haven't asked them. I didn't get to see them yet. What do you all think?
I mean, we could try to go on a weekend again.
Go on
or
weekend.
something. If we are if we are free.
You're free on Saturdays because this term I think you'll also be very busy, especially with EW.
Oh, that's so